Hello champions, I'm teacher Adam. I'm going to teach you questions that are involved in distance time graph. I'm going to show you how different kind of questions come and how we can solve the graph questions involving distance time graph. Question number 1, Edward drove 80 miles from his home to London. He stopped and visited his friend Nicola on the way. Here is the distance time graph for the journey. So Edward drove 80 miles from his home to London. He stopped and visited his friend Nicole on the way. Here is the distance time graph for the journey. So we have 80 miles and then 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 11 to 12 to 1. Time of day. How far was Edward from home when he visited Nicola? So Edward drove 80 miles from his home to London. He stopped and visited his friend Nicola on the way. Here's the distance time graph for the journey. So it was 80 minus 40, which is at the origin, this is where home is. So home is here. And then we have at 80 miles, this is where London is. Now, they say he stopped here. This is visited his friend Nicola. So from point A to point B, this is where he visited his friend Nicola. So if he visited his friend Nicola at AB, how far was he from home? He was 40 miles away from home. That's it. He was 40 miles away from home. He was 40 miles away from home. How long did Edward stop for? How long did they want the time? How long did Edward stop for? So he stopped from point A to point B. That means he stopped from 10 a.m. to so we need to understand the scale. So he stopped from 10 a.m. to 11:30. It was now 11:30. Stopped from 11:30 minus 10:00. That means 1 hour and 30 minutes. Ellie cycled from her home to her friend's house. She stayed at her friend's house and then traveled home. So we have Ellie. He cycled from her home to her friend's house. She stayed at her friend's house and then traveled home. At what time did Ellie leave home? So we need to get the scale. So the scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 small boxes represent 10 minutes. So it means 1 is 1. So he left home at 9:05. So 5 minutes past 9. So he left home at 9:05 a.m. Yes, correct. And then how far was Ellie from home? How far was Ellie from home while visiting her friend? So how far was Ellie? Home is here and this is where Ellie. He was 80 kilometers. He was 8 kilometers away from home. Then we say, how long did Ellie stay at her friend's house? They want time. We go on top at a friend's house. How long did he stay at her friend's house? He stayed from 9:20 to 9:35. So 9:35 minus 9:20 because this is where he started staying. Go to the graph where there is no motion, stationary. 9:35. So 9:35 minus 9:20. The stopping 5:15. So he stayed there for 15 minutes. Then Ellie arrived home at 9:55. Complete the distance time graph. So he arrived home at 9:55. So we go at 55 is here. And you draw your graph. So this is what 9:55. And then you go down. So complete the distance time graph. We've got a mark there. Then question number 3. Joseph traveled from his home to his friend's house 15 kilometers away. Joseph stayed for some time and then returns home. Here is the distance time graph. We have this, the distance time graph, and then it says the question, at what time did Joseph leave home? Left at, you need to just understanding the scale. Read the scale here. He left here. So you can see both 10 represent 20. So he left at 2:10. So he left at 14:10 p.m. How far was Joseph from home at 14:30? 14:30, that means at 2:30. At 2:30, how far was he from home? He was 10 kilometers away from home. He was 10 kilometers away from home. Then, how long did Joseph spend at his friend's house? The one time taken at his friend's house at stationary. This is the place, stationary. Wow, distance time graph, they are easy questions. How long? 14:40 to 15. That means spent 20 minutes. 20 minutes stayed at his friend's house. How far did Joseph travel in total? They want the total distance covered. How far did Joseph travel in total? The total distance covered. How far? So you can see he moved for 15 minutes and came back for another 15 minutes. That means he covered 30 kilometers. So there you can say, how far did Joseph travel in total? 30 kilometers. He went and came back. So he went and came back. Question number 4, it says, Anne cycled from Bristol to Salisbury. The diagram shows the distance time graph of her journey. And then question number 4, we go down, it says, how far from Bristol is Anne at 8 a.m.? Wow. At 8 a.m. there. How far? Bristol is here. So he's 10 miles away. He's 10 miles away from Bristol. Describe what is happening between 9 a.m. to 9:30. 9 a.m. to 9:30 means he's resting. Or there's no motion. No motion. You can say there is no motion. You can as well say Anne is resting, or you can as well say Anne stopped. Yeah. Work out Anne's speed for the first 2 hours of her journey. For the first 2 hours of her journey, 7 to 9. What's the distance covered? We know speed is equal to, scroll down, speed is equal to distance divided by time. What is the distance covered? Go back to the graph. Distance covered was, for the 2 hours, was 20 miles. The time taken is 2 hours. So it's 10 miles per hour. 10 miles per hour. Correct. 10 miles per hour. The other questions, we have these other questions whereby they say, show a distance time graph of this race, and then what are the kind of questions they're asking? How long did it take Henry to run 100 meter? All these kind of questions, you'll do them as homework. Do all the left questions as homework. Even question number 6, question number 7. So you will have all the questions being given there for you just to attempt. Please kindly attempt. I'll finish the rest of the question in the next class. See you at the Top Champion. Bye bye. I can't wait to see you again.